his attire stained with yellow machine oil. He reminds her of a student from a past life, earnest and diligent, albeit with a penchant for teasing her and insisting she call him brother. Noticing Shun Xiaoyun's distraction, Fang Yu casually remarked, "You don't need this control panel anymore, do you? Shall I toss it in the scrap bin?" Shun Xiaoyun quickly interjected, "Do not discard it. I still have use for it. I only ordered the top surface of the new control panel, leaving the base unaccounted for. I need to dismantle this one for repurposing. And certain small components must be relocated elsewhere." Financial constraints loom over her, compelling her to conserve where possible while judiciously spending where necessary. Fang Yu could not help but twitch his lips at her words. Although the control panel integrates both the operational base and the control pad, it was generally assumed that one would acquire both. Who had taught her to order only half of what was required? He could not restrain himself from exclaiming, "Is it truly possible for a manufacturer to accept your order under such conditions? Did they not berate you?" "How would you know?" She retorted. "People these days are far too irritable. I was scolded by over 20 factories before finally winning one over by appealing to their sentiments, proclaiming my status as a university student." With a sigh, she concluded her tale. Chapter 23. The illusion of mech mentality. Fang Yu was thoroughly impressed by her resilience. He waved his hand dismissively. "Very well. I shall assist you in dismantling the base, while you proceed with assembling the mech." Once again, Shun Xiaoyun declined, asserting, "No, I must do it myself. I need to completely disassemble the old control panel. I intend to modify it and photograph it for resale online." "You truly are remarkable." It was Zhuang Yueza who spoke this time, currently engaged in selling second-hand items to fund his mech modifications. While more money is always advantageous, he had not sunk so low as to sell scrap. Shun Xiaoyun accepted Zhuang Yueza's compliment with a smile. What more could Fang Yu say? To ensure the swift birth of the mech, he rolled up his sleeves and began assisting Shun Xiaoyun. Zhuang Yueza, not wishing to train alone and with nothing else to occupy him, joined in the effort to transport materials. After more than an hour of collaborative labor, they finally completed the assembly of Shun Xiaoyun's custom control panel. Zhuang Yueza gazed at the oddly shaped panel emanating a blue light, feeling somewhat perplexed. He turned to Shun Xiaoyun, observing that there were no labels on the buttons. "How will you operate the mech?" Since the inception of the first generation Zero mech, the Alliance had established fixed button placements, each designated with a representative function. Shun Xiaoyun explained, "This control panel lacks fixed button positions. I will arrange the complex skill combinations according to my own operational habits, consolidating them into a single button. This will better conserve my stamina." "This may not be quite right. We are accustomed to operating mechs with the traditional manual control panels," Zhuang Yueza expressed, his brow furrowed in contemplation. Shun Xiaoyun replied with confidence, "Habits can be altered. This method will conserve our strength. Once my mech is assembled, you shall witness its capabilities. Just watch as I triumph over your captain." "Well, all right then," Zhuang Yueza responded hesitantly. Fang Yu, unable to tolerate Zhuang Yueza's naivete, remarked, "Do not underestimate Shun Xiaoyun's design prowess. Observing her training, one can see her only weakness lies in her physical stamina. Her innovative approach aims to compensate for this deficiency. If her mech reduces energy expenditure, enabling prolonged combat, your captain may indeed find himself at a disadvantage. There is an age-old adage among mech engineers: habits are meant to be broken, paths to be diverged. True progress begins with questioning and transcending the status quo." Shun Xiaoyun momentarily lost herself in thought upon hearing this. 3 centuries ago, when the study of mechs commenced, she and her research team endured considerable setbacks. The latter part of the saying was often repeated by her to inspire her colleagues during meetings. She never expected it would endure through the ages. Regrettably, future generations remember only the phrase, forgetting the innovative spirit that once fueled it. Zhuang Yueza exclaimed, "I recognize that famous quote." It was uttered by Shun Xiaoyun. Startled, Shun Xiaoyun cast a subtle glance in his direction. Had her secret of reincarnation been uncovered? Zhuang Yueza, misinterpreting her gaze, chuckled, "Not you. I refer to the mech queen." Shun Xiaoyun, "Oh dear, the naming conventions in the Alliance are quite poor. They seem to enjoy naming children after their idols. I know 3 or 4 people named Shun Xiaoyun." Fang Yu shook his head in amusement. Shun Xiaoyun's lips twitched. She had experienced too much in these 2 months. Yet, Zhuang Yueza was relentless. He clapped his hands and declared, "In light of your shared name with my idol, I believe your designed mech will indeed enhance your endurance." Shun Xiaoyun retorted, "Humph, endurance is nothing. Just wait and see how I surpass your idol. When I invent a psychic-powered mech, stamina will be irrelevant." She was indeed the first to challenge herself in such a manner. At that moment, a voice emerged from the direction of the elevator. "Is this the technician your club has hired? And as for psychic-powered mechs, doesn't she know that over a century ago, Master Shu declared them to be a mere ruse?" Shun Xiaoyun and her companions turned to face the elevator. They beheld Ding Qingyu leading a portly gentleman clad in a vertically striped shirt, his hair showing a hint of gray. Ding Qingyu, who typically possessed a somewhat reserved demeanor, now exhibited a warm smile, his eyes sparkling as if he were in the presence of a dreamlike goddess. Following them was Zhu Yuanyao, behaving as demurely as a well-behaved child. Zhuang Yueza couldn't help but murmur, "Could this gentleman be our captain's future father-in-law?" Fang Yu shot him a glance, countering, "Do not glorify the captain. Have you forgotten he is still single?" With that, Fang Yu rose and approached the gentleman, saying, "Good day, I am the technician from the X-Flame Mech Club. Xiao Yun is studying the mecha combat specialization. Thus, she finds herself rather uninformed about the intricacies of the mecha manufacturing industry. Although she is unsure of the elderly gentleman's background, the captain's demeanor signals to Fang Yu the importance of treating him with respect." Shen Zhao Yun is tempted to retort against the man, but ultimately chooses silence, recognizing the need to avoid causing trouble in someone else's domain. The elder approaches the group, casting a brief glance at Shun Zhaoyun before nodding in acknowledgement. Realizing she is a student of the mecha combat discipline and recalling her interest in the so-called psychic mechas, Shun Zhaoyun scratches her ear and inquires slowly. Who might you be? Fang Yu and Zhuang Yueza regard the man with curiosity. The elder glances at Ding Qingyu, raises his head, and folds his hands behind his back, remaining silent. Understanding the situation, Ding Qingyu promptly interjects. This is Master Han Wei, whom I mentioned before. He is an S-rank mecha master here to assist our club members in modifying their mechas. Fang Yu exclaims in delight. You are Master Han Wei? We welcome your presence. The prospect of a master who specializes in mecha modifications excites Zhuang Yueza, who immediately leaps up, his face lighting up with a smile brighter than flowers in bloom. Shun Zhaoyun suddenly comprehends Ding Qingyu's attitude. For the past 2 months, the members of the X-Flame Mecha Club have prioritized securing this Master-S assistance. Fang Yu, a repair technician, hopes to glean knowledge from the master while he works on the modifications. The others are more straightforward in their desires. They seek enhancements to their mecha's combat capabilities to secure greater rewards in various competitions. Han Wei nods in acknowledgement, his gaze first sweeping over the exterior of the original Zero Mecha, then towards the control panel being tinkered with by Shun Zhaoyun and her companions. He turns to Fang Yu. You are modifying a D-rank original Zero Mecha? Your captain provided me with your personal profiles. All of you possess at least A-rank physical capabilities. Is it truly necessary to modify this D-rank mecha? Chapter 24. Such modifications are utterly meaningless. Fang Yu quickly clarifies. This mecha is not being modified by me. It is Shun Zhaoyun's design. She is undertaking the modifications herself, and I am merely assisting her. Aren't you a student of the mecha combat specialization? You can design and modify a mecha on your own? Han Wei looks at Shun Zhaoyun in surprise. Shun Zhaoyun crosses her arms and raises an eyebrow. Is that so difficult? Han Wei remains silent, picking up the scattered design sketches nearby to examine them. Fang Yu quietly reminds him, Master Han. These are Shun Zhaoyun's design sketches. Upon saying this, he casts an apologetic glance at Shun Zhaoyun. Most mecha designers prefer that unfamiliar individuals do not scrutinize their designs. While assisting Shun Zhaoyun in disassembling the mecha, he needed to follow her design specifications carefully. After finishing his earlier tasks, he had set the sketches aside, unaware that Han Wei would directly inspect them. It's fine. Take a look. Shun Zhaoyun shakes her head. The design sketch merely serves as a conceptual outline, lacking critical details, and the mecha will require further adjustments based on circumstances. Therefore, there is no issue with the master reviewing it. Han Wei set down the design blueprint and shook his head, stating, Your modifications are utterly meaningless. You intend to disrupt the conventional operational habits of mechs with your control panel. Moreover, your mech is merely a D-class. Why on earth would you install a drive system that is only compatible with A-class mechs? You've also altered the cockpit, seemingly modeled after an A-class mech. Would it not be simpler for you to purchase an A-class mech outright? Are you not concerned that this original Zero Series mech may ultimately fail to even start? Shun Zhaoyun immediately countered, the original Zero Series mech is not as obsolete as you presume. From its inception, it was designed with upgrade and modification ports. Both the materials and systems allow for replacement. My aim with these modifications is to enable individuals with D-class physical capabilities to pilot mechs boasting A-class combat prowess. Upon hearing this, Han Wei could not suppress a laugh, dismissively waving his hand. Do you understand mechs better than I do? No wonder you can utter such nonsense about creating psychic mechs. You lack even the most basic knowledge. Allow me to enlighten you. Manufacturing mechs is not a trivial pastime for wealthy young lords and ladies who can simply throw some money around. A D-class mech will forever remain a D-class mech, and individuals with D-class physical abilities should content themselves with piloting D-class mechs. Even if you transform it into an A-class mech, a D-class pilot will ultimately be unable to operate it. It was evident that Han Wei regarded Shun Zhaoyun's actions as mere capricious spending by a bored heiress. Shun Zhaoyun took a deep breath. That familiar feeling was returning. She recalled the moment she proposed the creation of mechs and the multitude of experts and professors surrounding her, chattering incessantly about what was infeasible. No, she would not succumb to pressure. Her aura surged, elevating her presence as she slammed her hand on the control panel. You declare it impossible simply because you haven't fully comprehended my design nor examined the complete data? How can you be so certain? Fang Yu and the others were taken aback by her sudden assertiveness. Typically, Shun Zhaoyun exuded an air of calm maturity, yet here she was, striking the table in defiance. Han Wei straightened, casting a sidelong glance at her, thinking, a child is a child. I suppose I was merely indulging my boredom by engaging with you. Shun Zhaoyun's eyes widened in indignation. Not only did he dismiss her mech modifications, but he also referred to her as a child, implying her immaturity. She lifted her chin defiantly. Just wait. Once my mech modifications are complete, you will see whether they are effective. When dealing with such obstinate individuals, mere words are futile. One must demonstrate competence through tangible results. Han Wei, with his hands clasped behind his back, nonchalantly replied, Very well, I shall await the outcome. If you genuinely wish to learn mech manufacturing, you ought to transfer to the mech manufacturing program and start from scratch. Your ability to create design blueprints through trial and error shows some talent, but continuing down this path could lead to a complete misunderstanding of the subject. As his words settled, Fang Yu and the others nodded in agreement. They had all witnessed Shun Zhaoyun's self-taught aptitude for mech manufacturing in recent times. Given her rather feeble D-class physical capabilities, it would indeed be more prudent for Shun Zhaoyun to pursue studies in mech manufacturing rather than attempting to create an A-class mech that anyone with D-class capabilities could pilot. However, this individual proclaimed that merely constructing